Good morning guys, Wednesday the 8th of November and day 20 of my Australian daily vlogs. Today is going to be a long one and it's going to be mostly from inside the 7 Series. It's 6:30 in the morning and I'm heading over to meet Paul, Maric, Igor and Sean from Car Expert. I hope you enjoy our adventures. First stop is the petrol station. My car is over on one of the fuel pumps because it's a 740i, and Paul has just arrived in his i7 M70 and we're going to stick it on a charger. You want me to go and get my nozzle out and rim it?
I'd like you to do some rimming if you can. I know you're good at it, so yeah. I want you to rim on camera as well.
For those of you that might have missed the other day's vlog, this is Paul, Maric, this is Igor and Sean. And today we're all going to be stuck together for a long day.
Doing a long drive.
I'm not going to ruin it because obviously you need to watch the Car Expert video and understand exactly what it is. But I am going to bring you along for the journey. Is that my car?
No mate, it looks like it.
Oh.
This one has an actual set of motors, unlike your dinosaur fuel.
Dinosaur B58, best engine in the world. The two cars that we're using in today's videos are both 7 Series. That's the one that I've had for the past couple of days, 740i. Combustion engine 7 Series, old traditional. It does have a mild hybrid system. This on the other hand is the i7 M70, so that's the flagship electric version. I think it's 650 horsepower, but it needs 650 horsepower because it weighs about 2.7 tons, whereas this is just over 2 tons. Anyway, it's time to go. Everyone's got their snacks and the first stop is about 4.5 hours away. In the cars and ready to go, Mr. Paul over there.
See the beige box that's about to drive past just here? That's called a Land Cruiser 70 Series. There's a 4-year wait and it's $80,000 and it has manual windows.
Mate, that was perfect timing because I just fired up my camera and got all that.
Perfect. Alright, so I've just done like a little sort of intro.
We're leaving Melbourne in rush hour traffic, and although we're leaving the city, the traffic has still been pretty bad. We're about half an hour into the journey and doesn't feel like we've got very far. Paul's a couple of cars ahead and we got Sean and Igor behind in their Mitsubishi Outlander, maybe. For the type of journey that we're doing today, there isn't many other cars out there that would be more suited. This is a very nice place and a very nice cabin to spend a lot of time in, and that's good because I will be spending a lot of time in this car. It's interesting following Paul in his 7 Series or i7 because you see things like the rear axle steering working, and although rear axle steering is nothing new on the current 7 Series, it's very prominent and you can see just how much it helps the long car and the long chassis maneuver around tighter junctions and turns, etc.
It's going to be hard to say Marquez lose confidence because the guy is so much full of confidence, but
we finally escaped Melbourne and all of its traffic. It's taken us just over an hour and we're on the Hume Highway, and the speed limit here is actually 110 kilometers per hour. So this is the fastest speed I've been in Australia. No, that's a lie, actually. In Lang Lang went a little bit quicker than that. We've stopped for a quick comfort pool break because he has a sparrow bladder. And Patrick, if you're watching this, I've said that I'm used to it when I'm with you, although I think you're much better than he is. So how was your sparrow bladder, mate?
It was a long hour on the road there.
Yeah.
I had to wee. And the thing I was saying to Joe is that more comes out than I put in.
Yeah, maybe you should go and see a doctor. What colour are these cars? Because I've been telling people this is tanzanite blue. And in terms of styling, it's actually quite ironic because although that is sort of the flagship sportier one, apparently.
Yeah.
I've got better wheels than you have, or nicer looking wheels. They're more traditional, but you have got an M badge. It's no secret that I'm not a fan of additional M badges where they're just not needed. They're literally everywhere on these cars these days, and I wish they just wouldn't throw them everywhere. Carbon Schwartz. So is that carbon black then?
Carbon black. M416.
Well, apparently it's a Uber.
Had to go there once or twice.
We've now been going for just over 2.5 hours. We've covered 220 kilometers since we left the petrol station this morning. I'm averaging 6.8 litres per 100 kilometers, which I think is about 36 miles to the gallon. But I still have a range of 900 kilometers, so that's pretty good because I've already covered 220. So an overall range of about 1100 kilometers is not bad at all. It's about 700 miles. We're 3 hours in, and I have to talk about these seats. They're outstanding, although I'm still not convinced by the cashmere and wool element of them. I think if I was still a chauffeur and running a 7 Series, it would definitely be leather only. But the actual contour shapes of the seats are unreal. They are so adjustable. I thought it was just these adjustments on the door, but when you play around with them, it comes up with a menu on the screen and you've just got infinite adjustments, which you would expect because the previous 7 Series also had that. Seat cooling is on low. Listening to various podcasts through this amazing Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which couldn't be clearer, and I'm sure it'll be the same in the back seat, and I will get to experience and enjoy the back seat a lot more in a few days time, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In fact, I'll be shooting a standalone style review of this car in a few days time that will be coming to the channel in probably a few weeks time, if not a month. I've banked up a lot of decent content over the past 6 weeks or so before I came to Australia and whilst I've been out here, that I'll be able to filter through the channel during our UK winter. Wow, we are approaching an oversized load, and when I say oversized, this is oversized. Oh my goodness, yikes. We've had to stop again because Paul's got a sparrow bladder. Let's just go and have a quick look at this i7 M70. Same interior as mine actually. The cashmere and wool interior, except, yeah, it feels exactly the same in here. It's identical, completely identical. Aesthetically, the only differences between the two, actually, no. I was going to say the grills, but this one has active grills. I think they're pretty much identical. This does have the M door mirror caps. That's pretty much it, because even the 740i doesn't have visible exhaust. From the outside, they look pretty much exactly the same.
Oh my god.
No! Oh no! Oh, right.
Here we go.
Submarine related things, but it is just cool to see it here.
Mate, I've just got my camera running. Could you please let my audience know what this submarine's all about?
Yes, I don't actually know. So what we can do is once we've passed it, I can then pretend like we're driving into that exit now.
We have just 5 minutes to go until we get to our lunch spot, which I'm very excited about because I'm very hungry and I could do with stretching my legs. Earlier on, I talked about not having numb buttocks. Well, now we are 5 hours into our journey and yeah, those numb buttocks are beginning to creep in. They're not bad, but they're beginning to creep in. Yeah, I've still got just over 700 kilometers of range, and I am 6.7 litres per 100. So that is continuing to slowly drop. I think it's going to plateau soon. I reckon by the time we get to our final destination, which if you haven't figured out already, I don't actually know why I didn't tell you at the start, and it's probably in the title of this video, it is Sydney. I think by the time we get to Sydney, my average consumption is probably going to be down to about 6.5, 6.6. Time for lunch. and a quick charge up, actually a long charge up for Paul, whereas 740, it's happy to just chill there. Doesn't need any fuel, not even close.
Get stuck into that.
What,
Sausage just there.
Yeah. We're almost 7 hours into our journey now, completed 620 kilometers. I have just over 500 kilometers of range left, so I'm going to be absolutely fine because Sydney's about 250 k's from here. I'm feeling a little bit tired. I think I had a bit of a food coma. We've always got to be careful with that on longer journeys. You have a nice lunch, especially if it's got lots of carbs in it. Half an hour, 45 minutes after eating that, you do have a bit of a lull. Something else I hadn't talked about earlier on was the lack of cabin noise in here, the lack of tyre roar. We've got massive 285 section tyres on the rear. I think they're 255 or 265 on the fronts, 21 inch. So there's a lot of tyre rolling around, but you don't hear much in the cabin. And also this surface, it's like an old concrete surface, so I can imagine in a lesser car you'd get a fair amount of tyre noise. Some of my clients back in the day, I used to drive them over to France, Paris, because it was a lot easier than faffing around in airports. We could just jump in the car, quick passport check at the Eurotunnel, and away we go. And if they wanted to do it through the night, we could do it through the night. They could sleep in the back of the car. It was much easier for them. I'm impressed by the amount of stops that you guys have got on offer, and the actual picnic areas are quite nice, but the toilets are grim. It's almost like nobody's been here since pre-COVID to clean anything.
Yeah, it is literally a hole in the ground.
Did you see the brown snake earlier?
Oh no, what, a brown snake coming out the back of Paul?
Joe was concerned about the snake situation.
You join me a little bit later. It's getting dark and we're just approaching Sydney. I think we've got about 25 minutes to go till we get to our stop. I've got Igor in the back there, lounging. The car's been an absolute joy. I'm gonna get to our destination in Sydney with about 350 kilometers of range left, which is not bad at all. But this has got the mighty B58 in it. Its efficiency, especially in this case, and its tunability and performance in hotter cars like the M340i, M140i, those sort of things. I'm going to put this away because I'm sure it's getting quite grainy now because the light levels are dropping very quickly. Oh, we've just dropped another decimal point. So it's 6.5 litres per 100 kilometres. We have arrived at our hotel, Maric Suites. I'm only here for one night, but if you're coming to Sydney and you needed somewhere to stay for a few nights and you wanted more than just a hotel room, I suppose this is the answer. And no, this is not a paid or freebie of a room. Just thought I would show you around. Right, let's go up, we're going go-karting. What a night. We are finally back at the hotel. It is midnight. I got absolutely smoked in the go-karts by everyone, not just Paul, Igor and Sean. I'm putting my hands up. You beat me fair and square. I mean, they were kids' karts, but we're not going to talk about them. I'm going to head upstairs with the rest of my bags to my room, and I'm going to pass out because I'm very tired. It's been a long day on the road, long day karting. Hopefully you enjoyed today. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.